Unless you're blind and deaf, I presume you wandered into our forge out of your own accord, drawn by the siren song of Smithy's hammers, no doubt. In these hollowed halls, Limsa's finest pound metal into all manner of tools and weapons, and when I say Limsa's, I mean the whole bloody realms. Make no mistakes, you need more than a big arm to join our ranks. But if you've got iron in your veins and the builder's blessing, speak up. Join the Blacksmith's Guild? Yeah. Heh, well, you're not short on confidence, but do you truly know what you're getting yourself into here, lass? Ours is a trade born of blood and brine. For as long as pirates have sailed the Rotano, smithies have forged their weapons and fitted out their ships from keel to cannon. Course, till sea swallows all ain't just an idle saying. Brine will eat through even the stoutest iron given time, and our forebears long struggled to forge more rust-resistant alloys. Lucky for us, the smithies of Eld were a determined bunch, and clever too. So when they learned that the kobolds knew something of advanced metallurgy, the smithies set out to make it their own. Thanks to the kobolds' wisdom, which they generously gifted us with only the merest hint of pirately prompting, Lominson Smitten came on leaps and bounds. 'Twasn't before the Crelanians and Uldan started eyeing our knowledge, like we did the kobolds though, and so, some 150 odd years ago, two particularly forward-thinking men named Theodore Naldik and Bruce Vermelli had a bright idea of establishing a respectable business. Being fair-minded fellows, they'd sell their wares to anyone who had their coin, pirates and foreigners included, and when folks weren't inclined to pay, they made sure to remind them that we hadn't completely forsaken our pirate ways. Times have changed though, and we're a wee bit more willing to share our wisdom these days. The company's been running the Blacksmiths and Armorers Guild for years now, welcoming any soul with the necessary talents and will to work. As to whether you've got enough of either, well, that's for the Forge Master to decide. Speak to me when you're ready to present yourself to him. So, what'll it be? Reckon you got what it takes to train with the best goddamn blacksmiths in the realms? Ha! That's the spirit. If you'd taken any longer to decide, I'd have told you to bugger off no matter what you said. Can't have half-arsed adventurers wasting Forge Master Britail's precious time, see? He's got a lot of irons in the fire. That's why me and the other lads make a point of keeping idlers, imbeciles and the otherwise unqualified from getting in his way. Any road, it's time you went and paid your respects to the man. He's the one over yonder making a face like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. The best goddamned blacksmiths in the realm work these forges day and night. Every time I see him finish a new piece, my heart swells with pride. Plate or chain, no armor can withstand a guild-forged weapon. I'd stake me life on it. About time Roundwolf sent me a new recruit. It's been too long. I'm Britail, Forge Master of the Blacksmith's Guild. If you're aiming to become a smithy worth the name, it would be my great pleasure to educate you on the finer points of the craft. Oh, the rest of these sour-faced bastards will tell you it's hard, grueling work fit only for the best and brightest. But I'd say put a hammer in the hands of the willing and see what happens. What you say, lass? Will you swing a hammer for old Britail? Yep, we will. Haha, I knew I liked you the moment I set my eyes on you. What did you say your name was again? Monicate Morales. A name fit for a hero if I ever heard one. In fact, I reckon I did hear it in a bard song once. Or was it that poor sot cursing in his cups at the wench? Bah, no matter if it was saving the world or cuckolding your husband. 'Tis time to forge yourself a new reputation, pound out a new legend, and you can trust old Britail to help you do it. There I go, putting the cart before the chocobo. Here, lass, take this cross-pane hammer. A smithy without a hammer is like me without a drink. Bloody useless. Well, don't just stand there gulping at her. Take her in your hands and have a few practice swings. Whatever you fancy, she's all yours now. What I wouldn't give to be you right now, lass. A smithy never forgets his first hammer. He is very eloquent, I must say. Now that there is a beautiful sight. Never forget, a smithy's hammer is her one true love. Friends will betray ya, lovers will leave ya, but your hammer will never do you wrong. Gods, seeing you standing there reminds me of a less ill-sodden, more lady-shaped version of me younger self. But on to your task. We ain't a congregation of soft-handed scholaries here. Smithies learn by doing. Try your hand at making a bronze ingot. Any smithy worth her salt's gotta master the fundamentals, and you can't get more fundamental than that. It ain't complicated. Bronze is just copper and tin melted down and mixed together. So you'll be needin', aye, that's it, copper and tin ore. And seeing as most folks don't carry stuff like that around with them without reason, Simoniar can supply outside can provide you with some, for a price that is. What the lad can't sell you though, is the fire shard you'll need. Aye, it ain't complicated, but that don't mean it's easy. You need to melt the metals after all, and to do that you need to get them hotter than a bombard's backside. And that's all there is to it. Think you can handle it, lass? We already have a bronze ingot, but let's make one regardless. For immersion's sake, I guess. Remember, to make a bronze ingot, all you need is copper, tin and a fire shard. Simoniar can sell you the ore, but you'll have to find the shard on your own. Of course, I'm telling you this in the assumption that you've still got to do the job. If you've done it already, show us your work for God's sakes. Hehe, you're alright, lass. Better than that even. Sure you ain't done this before? Cause honestly, this ain't what you expect from a venturer fresh off the street. I think you might be a bleeding natural, lass. It takes just the right balance of metals to produce bronze suitable for weapons and tools. But this ingot you've made, lass, is on par with them as our veterans produce. You could take this down to Hawker's Alley and find a buyer in no time. Buyer gods watching over you, ain't no doubt about it. Hehe, you've got talent, lass, but don't let it get to your head. I've seen plenty of folk get drunk on early success, only to puke up their guts later, cause they forgot that talents worth bugger all without hard work and dedication. So I tell you what, keep it simple for now, lass. Practice the fundamentals till you can smelt bronze in your sleep. And when you've gained the kind of confidence that only comes with experience, come back and I'll teach you something new. Sound of hammering bring you in from the street, did it, lass? It is well that you find a din in fighting, for the Armourers' Guild is not a place for quiet referee. If the clangor of metal striking metal is music to your ears, mayhap you've the spirit of a shipwright. Are you of a mind to join the guild? Take it from me, lass, there's no greater joy than working a shapeless lump of iron into a shining breastplate with your own hands. What say you then? Well said, lass. Now we should recover a bit of guild history before forging ahead with the formalities. The armorer's craft is an offshoot of blacksmithing. Time was when armorers and smithies were one and the same. But as the years tickled by, the techniques for working sheet metal into armor plates became a specialized trade, and the smithies who showed uncommon skill and passion for this trade earned themselves the title of armorer. Now, as you can probably imagine, the skills necessary for making armor are also needed for shipbuilding, but building ships is a bit harder than knocking out simple helms, which led to those armorers who were good enough to work on boats to claim the title of shipwright. Of course, it's one thing calling armorers blacksmiths and shipwrights armorers, but it is quite another calling shipwrights blacksmiths, because building a ship and making a hatchet couldn't be more different. It seemed as though a line needed to be drawn, and seeing as how Limsa Lominsa was built on the strength of her navy, you can imagine why the armorers chose to cut ties with the smithies and establish the guild of their own. As for the smithies, well, the whole notion of an independent armorers guild never did sit well with them. and there's been a fair old rivalry between our factions ever since, always trying to outdo each other we are. Which is why we're ever on the lookout for new talents to help us keep the smithies bastards in their places. All you need to do is impress the Forge Master, and we can start you on your training. Be warned, Forge Master Hanansa Stone could strip the scales off a fishback at 40 paces. Saying that, you won't find a fairer mistress this side of the Strait of Merintor. Let me know when you've mustered the courage to speak with her, and I'll see to the rest. Your mind is made up? You're ready to throw your lot in with this armor rush? Then it is time you made yourself known to the Forge Master. That's no empty title, by the way. Hanansa's a renowned shipwright and one of the finest crafters in Limsa Lominsa. Head outside and you'll find her blistering the skins of our newest initiates. If you're looking to devote yourself to the art of shaping metal's plates, then the Armorer's Guild is your temple. There's no sword sharp enough, or axe big enough, that we can't forge a suit of armor to protect against. Another aspiring armorer, are you? Welcome. I am Hanansa, Forge Master of this guild. I take it Kwanako has explained to you the history and nature of our craft? Good. I have little to add on that front, save this. The life of an armorer is not an easy one. Day after day, you will pit flesh and blood against iron and flame, and without a passion for the forge, you will fail. But passion alone will not make an armorer of you. To truly master this craft, you must be possessed of a will as unyielding as the metals you work. Knowing what lies before you, have you the fortitude to persevere? Ha! I see you have no fear of hard work. That is well. Consider your request to join the guild approved. But if you ever give me aught less than your best, you will be out the door before you realize my boot has connected to your backside. Are we clear on that? Good. Now that we understand each other, let us begin with the basics. What is your name? Monikate? Very well, Monikate. This tool is called a doming hammer. Here, grip it firmly, note its weight. Let me know when you feel comfortable with it in your hand. I'll tell you if you're holding it properly. Are you just seeking to pass the time, or do you have an honest interest in armorcraft? What do you do here? Me? Ha! You must be new in Limsa. I'm Hanansa, the head of Naldik and Vermelis, Forge Master and Shipwright. I spend a good portion of my time here in the Armorer's Guild, trying to hammer my novices into something resembling true artisans. We lost too many of our skilled veterans to that damned calamity. Too many. I see it as my builder's given duty to not only pass the techniques of the armorer to the next generation of artisans, but to improve on those processes as well. Tell me about armor crafting. At a glance, working a sheet of metal plate seems simple. You take a chosen metal, then heat, hammer, and bend it until you have achieved the desired shape and thickness. There is, however, much more to the process. An armorer needs to learn how to work materials of varying hardness, such as bronze and iron, and shaping them into gauntlets, shields, and helmets is no easy task. You must direct your blows with strength and surety, as you would a smithy. But an armorer needs something a smithy doesn't: delicacy. Without that, it wouldn't be long before tiny flaws crept in to compromise the defensive strength of plate. We make works of art with flame and steel, and there's never a day that I'm not damn proud to be an armorer. Ah, yes, if I didn't know better, I'd think you were an armorer, Monikate. Of course, I do know better. Until you craft something with that hammer of yours, you'll look like a babe with a rattle to me, and I have no intention of mothering you. Make no mistake, I mean to shape you into an artisan, however hard I have to pound. Save your sweat for the forge, lass. I don't expect you to fashion full suits of plate on your first day. Just pay close attention to my instructions, be diligent in your work, and the skill will come in due time. Now, let's be about your first lesson, shall we? I want you to take up a hammer and make me a bronze ingot. A mundane task, I grant you, but one which every armorer must master. Bronze, you see, is the most basic material of the craft, and bronze ingots are its building blocks. It is not the strongest of alloys, of course, but it is that very quality that makes bronze so easy to shape, and the metal of choice for a novice armorer. To forge your ingot, You need to procure 2 chunks of copper ore, a chunk of tin ore and an ice shard. The ore can be purchased from Sumbrip here at the guild. The ice shard you'll have to find on your own. Well, are you waiting for me to swing your arm for you? Or mayhap you would have me swing my boot? No doubt some people are into that. I wonder if when the 2.0 first released, you didn't cut the shards, because they all of the guild masters, they in the dialogue it's like they don't give you the shards. Where's that bronze ingot I asked for? If you can't find the ore yourself, try speaking with Sumbrip here at the guild. Completed your first task, have you? Well then, let's have a look at this ingot. So this is the sort of quality I can expect from you, is it? For a novice armorer, this is excellent. This is excellent work. Excellent, well done, Monegate. The key to making good bronze is judging the ratio of copper to tin. With too much tin, the alloy becomes harder but also more brittle, not the sort of material you want protecting your vital organs. Lest you forget, quality is a matter of life and death in our craft. That is why we teach our initiates the ideal metallurgic composition of every item we forge. Not that all are quick to learn. There are some who seem destined to produce mediocre results, however painstakingly the processes are explained. Thank the builder, you are not one of them. I am pleased to say that your ingot would fetch a decent price in the markets. But do not let this first success make you complacent. A single bad helm will lose you more trust than 100 good ones will win, because bad armor means dead men. It is not enough that your work be good. It must needs be consistently good. And achieving that consistency requires discipline and long hours of crafting the same item over and over again. Again and again. For you, this means a mountain of bronze ingots in your dreams, bronze ingots until the process is so ingrained that you wake up and find that your pillow is a ingot you made in your sleep. She clearly played Skyrim. When you feel you have learned all you can from forging bronze ingots, seek me out and I will find you something else to craft. May the builder guide your hand, Monegate. Well, I've been talking for way too long, you might have noticed. Thanks for watching, see ya!